Ciao. Hi, everyone, and welcome to World Outsourcing Solutions podcast. Today's interview is sponsored by World Outsourcing Solutions, where we focus on helping business owners with all their outsourcing needs. And we also help business owners with business growth systems. Check out our website at www.worldoutsourcingsolutions for more information. I'm very excited about the interview guest I have here today. And our title is The Beginner's Guide for How to Get Started with an Online Business. My name is Yokai Kajidor, and today I'm talking with an online business expert, Tiffany Sartor, about how every business owner can get started on the right track with marketing your business online, and of course get tremendous results. Welcome to the call and the interview, Tiffany.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. Now, you are an expert in the subject of online business, and we're really grateful that you have consented to this interview to share really your expertise, especially to the millennial moms and dads, who are seeking to do things the right way. So once again, thank you for being with me on the call. Let's just jump right in. My first set of interviews of the questions about your background and your experience in this field of online business, so that our business owners in our audience can understand who you are, where you are coming from, and how you can relate to them and how they can relate to you at this point. So could you tell us a little about yourself in terms of your education, background, and your experience?
Okay, sure, not a problem. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the university here, actually, in Atlanta, Georgia, and Spelman College, by the way. And I actually have a finance background. I have also a bit of retail background, experience in the women's and men's retail sector as well. And that's mainly, the perspective that I have, more so from a finance. But I definitely have, as stated, some experience in the men's and women's retail sector. So kind of possess that duality.
Incredible. And when did you get started with your own business?
I actually officially launched my business February of 2014. We just actually hit 2 years. And right before I actually started that business, I had kind of tested the waters and started a little business before. It actually was a men's retail business. I had it for maybe about 6 months. I was working, transitioning, debating on going back to school to get a higher education degree. And I ended up letting the business go. So actually, the business that I have now, Posh Payton, is my second business, right. But my first official business. Yep, as far as getting it off the ground and running.
Awesome. There's something very interesting that I'm hoping you'll be able to, explain for our listeners. When you started in finance, you then changed from being an employee to a business owner. What were the changes that you had to go through during that season?
Well, during this time, just life was happening, and ultimately, after 2 job layoffs and, just transitioning in general in the professional industry, I just decided, after my last job layoff, something needed to change. I was ready to make that leap from, working for others into having my own business. As I stated before, I had a business many years ago, my first business that only lasted about 6 months. And then I just kind of let the business go. At the time, I just had a lot going on. But, at this particular moment, I felt there's not a better time than to do it now. I believe that, honestly, people who have great ideas that want to start businesses, either don't have time or they don't have money. And then you have people who have money, but they don't have great business ideas. So right. I think, with time being at my leisure, that this would be a perfect time to start my own business. And I felt that I was really ready. The industry had kind of pushed me to the place of ready to take that leap.
Right. Right. I like, what you just said there about, you were pushed to take that leap. What were the roadblocks that were in your way, just prior to taking the leap from being an employee to actually saying, no, what, I'm going for it. I'm going to run my own business.
I think that, like many people, I think time was definitely one of them. When you're working, a stressful job and long hours in the, general professional sector, it can be very time consuming. And then most of all, finances were also an issue. I didn't have much of a reservoir in terms of, being able to have money put aside in order to start that business. So I think those were probably the two biggest roadblocks for me in terms of doing that. But it had come to a place and point where I felt like I could no longer wait on both to line up. It was either one or the other. Whichever came first, I was just ready to take that leap. I had really been pushed out. So.
Incredible. Like many other entrepreneurs today, they had to go through some level of pain before they finally say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. How did you overcome these roadblocks, Tiffany?
Well, overcoming the roadblocks, I really, to be completely honest with you, I just, started to kind of, I love Google, it's my favorite, and I kind of I started kind of to buzz around on the internet, just saying, hey, trying to find out how can you start a business, or if time is an issue, or if money is an issue, how can you start a business with $0 or no dollars, or limited resources, not necessarily just resources being financial. And I came across a lot of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful blogs from individuals who had done the same as I, who had, kind of stepped out and transitioned from the professional working world as an employee, individuals who gave great insight about, hey, I started this business. I didn't have all the tools or resources, but just as, I jumped out there, I started on my own. I want to empower you to know that you can do the same. So that was a really, really, really great way of kind of how to get me, over those roadblocks, because I won't deny I was extremely nervous, and I had a lot of anxiety. It's hard when you really say, hey, I'm going to do something new and different that I have never done before. It's always a scary thing. So
absolutely, we admire your courage, and now you've got your business running, and I'm hoping that those listening in our audience today that are considering to do this, they can learn, they can pick a leaf from your books. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about so Tiffany, would you say you were an overnight success?
Absolutely not. No, definitely wasn't. We weren't an overnight success as far as business is concerned. It definitely just took some hard work, some really, really, really hard work, and some dedication. Very few, there's a small percentage of businesses that actually do have an overnight success. And sometimes if it seems to be an overnight success, I can promise you there were some long nights and some sleepless nights as well. So sometimes, businesses and, opportunities for others seem to happen so rapidly, but that's very rarely is that ever the case. But it definitely was not the case for us either.
Incredible. And, I like to, our audience to really understand that particular aspect that, overnight success is a myth for many, it doesn't exist in the real world. And absolutely. To hear you substantiate that or support that, it helps our business community understand that you need to put a lot of hard work and input in that. Let's jump into, what are the first steps, every beginner, need to take to have a business success online and in the kids fashion trends?
Honestly, I'm really big on research. Research is so important. Whether it's, whether you're going into retail or any other industry in general, it's extremely important that you do your research. You have to know, it's important because you have to establish and identify your target audience. You have to know who is it that I'm wanting to present my product or my services in front of? What group of individuals, what age range, what do they like? What do they subscribe to? What do they listen to? And then also you need to familiarize yourself with market trends. What's happening in the market?
Right.
What right now, is happening as far as any types of transition. And then lastly and importantly, you have to know the who's, what's, and how's of your industry. Knowing your industry is extremely important. You never want to get, into a situation where you aren't informed or you have no idea what's going on around you. So you have to be informed about the industry in which you're looking to, engage in.
Incredible. Let's talk about the first step, which you mentioned, that research.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way of actually getting this done? If you launching, maybe you could give an example of how you did it when you were getting started.
Okay. So while getting started, like I said, I just used many of the resources that I had around me. I use Google, which is my favorite. I also actually went to the library to check out a couple of books, just on business management. But Google probably would be the more updated source of, go-to information. I checked out a lot of how to start a business, what platforms are there to use if I'm looking to, start a business, maybe particularly in retail. If I want to have an e-commerce business, what are some great platforms to use to host my e-commerce site? And I definitely read a lot of blogs. I mean, it's a whole host of information from A to Z, from starting a business to, trying to figure out what paperwork you need to file in order to get your business up and running, all the way down. And so the internet was probably the sole resource that I use. It's one that's at our fingertips, and I mean, it's right there. So it's so easily accessible. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And, you mentioned about using Google, and of course, when you type in them, how long did the whole process of research, maybe be it using Google or going to the library, took you as an individual before you actually launch your business? And what can business owner expect to be the length of their research?
For myself, it took me probably a couple of weeks.
Right.
There's a lot of information, that I wanted to kind of educate myself around in terms of business, being that I particularly had never, besides starting, a small business before, but I had never launched out seriously on my own in terms of having my own business. And so it took me about a couple of weeks, every day, just doing some serious research. But I can, say for anyone, expect to, be doing some research or, and moving towards this first step anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. It's just about, your level of comfortability in terms of the information that you've been able to capture and understand. Yeah.
Awesome. You mentioned another very important aspect about the knowing who is in your industry. Can we expand on that so that they can take some actionable steps on how to do that?
Yes, absolutely. Oftentimes before we're looking to, and not always, but oftentimes when we're looking to, let's say, start a business, and you're kind of familiar with some of the other, pioneers in that business, other companies, other brands that you may be familiar with. And it could flat out just be, a brand that maybe is not in your industry, but you may love the look and the feel of the brand. So it's very important to really know, what are these businesses doing? How does it work? What they're doing? How is it working well for them? How does it help them continue to stay significant in the industry and stay relevant in the industry? So all those things are really important. And, I encourage people, if there is a business in your sector or a brand in your sector, you like, hey, I really like them, or, they've been, rocketeering in this, pioneering in this industry, for quite some time, then, and rocking it out, why don't I use this business or this brand kind of, as a initial, staple in terms of, wanting to, kind of, set your business up. So
Absolutely.
knowing what's going on in the industry is important.
Absolutely. I was listening to Tony Robbins, recently, actually. He was talking about modeling success. And this is in line with what you are sharing right now, Tiffany, that when, you look at, your industry you are in, you see who are the shakers and the movers. And, you can learn one or two things from them that you can model and apply it in your own business. You see, in school, you're told not to copy, but in business, if if you don't model, we call it modeling. We don't call it copying anymore. If you don't model what has been proven to work, you'll be left behind.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, how do you identify, Tiffany, who to model, or which businesses to really follow? What are do you have some key pointers that our listeners can follow?
Yeah, well, so within your industry, like I said, it could be a business within your industry, or a brand within your industry. It can also be one that isn't. You just love the look and the feel of it. And typically, it's normally a business that's very striking, a business, or a brand that really does a wonderful job at drawing in, the consumer, which probably is you, because they really caught your attention. So normally a brand that's really, 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 rocking it out in terms of what they're doing in their industry, really, raising the bar, setting the standard, and for which other businesses really have to, reach that level. And there are a ton of businesses. I'll use, for example, Apple. Apple is a business. There's so many other businesses and brands within that tech sector, but Apple has done a phenomenal job at really raising that bar with, staying innovative and catching, the consumer's attention. So that would be one great example of a business. You're like, hey, what they're doing, they're good at what they do, and they're doing it extremely well. So normally a business like that catches your attention, rightfully so, as it does with other consumers.
Beautiful. Well said. Are there any other steps really for anyone who is looking to get an online business that we have not talked about that you think is crucial for people to know in order for them to get started with a better prospect of doing it well?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I think that the research is just the biggest component when you're first thinking about,
Right.
starting a business. Yeah.
Right. And are there any, other than research, are there any other things that you think might be helpful for the team?
Well, just, simply, besides the research, you're just doing a lot of reading and engaging with others. Check out a lot of business blogs from small business owners. Checking out a lot of different podcasts and interviews, like the things that you guys do and the services that you provide. So that's a great way. Definitely learned a lot just listening to podcasts, checking out interviews, in addition to just reading blogs. Yep, and all this information is free information, great resources, and it's at your fingertips. So
Absolutely. One of the things I personally have learned, in getting started with an online business or any business is the importance of a team. Really, having people around you, helping you to, in your quest, to help you with other things like marketing, advice on the legal aspect, the finance. Rather than doing it all yourself, you can have a team of people, be they in-house people or even virtual, like like what we do here at World Outsourcing Solutions, where you can get like a virtual assistant, who is an expert in their own right, help you with your marketing, or be with any other things that are time consuming and not directly income generating activities.
yes.
Let's talk about, let's switch gears for a moment. Let's talk about the mindset of a beginner at this point. What's the right mindset for a business owner when it comes to getting started in two things, the kid fashion and with an online business?
Well, To be completely honest with you, you gotta believe. When starting something out new that you've never done before, particularly launching as a first-time business owner or maybe a second-time business owner, you have to really believe in your product. You have to believe in what you're offering.
Right.
You may be the only fan, but that's extremely, extremely important, in terms of really just really transitioning your mind and your thought process. In addition, you want to also, you have to be disciplined, and
Right.
having a business. It's no different, waking up every day and working for yourself is no different than waking up every day and driving to a job and working for someone else. You still have to be disciplined. You still have to manage your time extremely well. You have to definitely be, focused and serious about what it is that you're doing. And so all those things coupled together are, great for an initially transitioning your thought process about being a business owner, because, it is a big responsibility. So instead of having to report to someone every day, you're the boss.
Yes, and it stops by you, and it's a different take on life. Still on this subject, Tiffany, what in looking back at you transitioning from working for someone else to working for yourself, what was the major breakthrough, or the biggest thing that had to change for you?
The biggest thing that probably had to change for me was probably my thought process, just in terms of how business worked.
Right.
And generally speaking, like I said, I had a small business before, but had never gone out seriously on my own. So transitioning from, going to a job every single day where you have a set amount of, monotonous tasks that you work on those all day. You're being told what to do, kind of, sort of. You're coming into this, environment where it's totally freestyle. So,
Right.
you decide, what gets done today. What is your day going to look like? What are the things that I'm going to work on? So really, taking a lot of personal responsibility for, and in terms of making decisions, because you're now making all of the big decisions and the hard decisions, as before, you're used to someone else making those decisions for you. So I think really just transitioning my thought process about how business works, it was really the larger thing.
Awesome. And what would you say to those who are getting started or thinking to go that direction?
I would just encourage you to, just take that leap. Don't let fear or anxiety or, the feeling of impotency or lack of knowledge make you feel like you can't do it. You can do it. It's possible. It really, really is. You just have to believe. And that's the bigger thing. As I stated before, you have to believe. You have to know that you can do absolutely anything, no matter how scary it is, no matter, how little you feel like you may know, no matter how unprepared you feel like you may be. You can definitely do it. You can do it. You really can.
Absolutely. I firmly believe in that, you certainly can do whatever you put your mind to do that. I'm going to ask you one question, which I struggle in answering when I get asked. So, I'm going to have to push it forward to you.
Okay.
Is how do you, generate that belief in yourself, or that belief you can do it?
It's really important, because sometimes when you're thinking about jumping out to, start your own business, you may be one of, few of friends that either have a business or have started a business, or you may be the only of the group of individuals that and so sometimes it's hard because everyone else is still functioning, on a particular, general, in a way, professional type of way, wake up 9 to 5, come home. But you may be the only one that's stepping out doing something interesting. And so it's hard to sometimes get insight from others who or encouragement even from individuals who don't quite share the same experience as you. So really, a lot of motivational, speeches or videos or, even readings, listening to other business owners, as I stated, podcasts, even faith. If you have some type of faith, leaning on that is extremely important as well. Just 360 degrees surrounding yourself with nothing but encouraging, motivational pieces of information, speeches, readings, and just different things, because I'm telling you, it definitely is a transition. It can be scary, and sometimes when something seems scary or you're treading into unfamiliar territory, it seems easy to kind of just go back to what you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would like to assume that when you were on this journey of getting started with your business, you met some wonderful people, well-meaning people,
Yes.
but they discouraged you from doing that. They thought you are out of your mind, Tiffany, to go out on limb like that. How did you deal with people like that?
Oh, yeah, that was definitely interesting when I did start my business. The funny thing is, I had read somewhere, and this was the best piece of advice I had ever been given. When you first are ready to start a business, don't tell too many people. And I didn't. That was the funny thing. I think for the first year, I didn't even tell my girlfriends I had started a business. I don't even really think they knew I had even stopped working. I, really just kind of kept it under wraps. Just told a few people, my mom, my sister, just a few people close to me. But I was very intentional about really preserving that process in terms of not allowing, other people's disbelief or, negative comments or, discouragement really, affect me, because it can. People could make, one little remark, and you'd be surprised how that can just change your whole thought process. So I had definitely read a piece of advice from a business owner who said, hey, when you start a business, don't tell too many people about it. Just keep it under wraps, until you really get it rolling and drumming. And then you can say, hey, I started a business and this is where I'm at. So I think that's probably really one of the better things to do. Just keep it under wraps. Don't tell too many people. It's your baby. And you just, decide when you feel like you're ready and prepared to tell others about it.
Oh, beautiful, Said. Thank you so much. And just to wrap up our time here together, what are the biggest challenges you see beginners do when it comes to running their own businesses, be it in the clothes section, which I'm hoping you're going to talk to us about, or in any businesses?
Mm-hmm. Well, in the retail sector, it was very interesting because you have to find sourcing, whether it's from manufacturers or vendors or wholesalers. That was very challenging initially. It definitely was a challenging piece. But, it's just a matter of, I think that in addition to financial resources is sometimes a challenging thing. And in terms of finances or resources, I say, hey, finances or having lack of resources never stopped anyone. You have to find a way. So whether it's, rallying up friends and saying, hey, everybody, can I crowd fund some resources from you guys or some funds, or maybe going to take out a small business loan, or just whatever it is that you feel like would be the best, choice for you, but don't let finances stop you. That oftentimes is a big challenge in business, but also, as I stated, even just securing, trying to find, as far as operational goals, in terms of me, for instance, really with my clothing, it was very challenging at first, very, very challenging trying to find out, who do I go to, where do I go to? And so that was probably one of the bigger pieces in terms of really trying to get that under control. But it's like anything, you just work at it. You keep working at it. You don't give up, and you just stay focused. So, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Really appreciate that. Now, I know our listeners here want to know more about you and the services that you offer. Would you kindly, talk to us about the services that you have and how you can help our listeners to move either their business or their lives from where they are to where they would like to be?
Absolutely. You can find out more about my kids clothing retail business, which is www.poshpayton, PEYTON.com. We have some really great, awesome, clothing pieces there for the trendy kids. And also for my branding business, it's tksartorgroup.com. That's TKSARTOR group.com. And you'll find more information about myself, about my business, as well as a few other business ventures that I have kind of delved into. And you can check out both websites actually to get more information on how to contact me. If you just have questions or just kind of wondering like, hey, how do I get out there? I need a little encouragement, maybe an accountability partner. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out. Definitely looking forward to it, open to it all. And just, want to encourage others to know that it is possible, and don't let anything, and absolutely no one stand in your way.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Just to wrap this up as well, Tiffany, is there any one particular story or case study or an example you would like to share that really sums up what we've been talking about here today?
Yes, there is a brand, and the brand is called Nasty Gal. It's a brand based out of California, here in the United States, Los Angeles, California. And the owner her name is Sophia Amoroso. She's a great person to look up. Very, very, very encouraging story. Kind of life shifted her into a direction of starting an eBay store. After that eBay store, she kind of started her own thing. And I mean, it's a phenomenal story. So for anyone who say, I don't have a background, or I don't, have an educational background in terms of university, or I don't have, these resources or these things, that's a wonderful story to check out. Absolutely phenomenal story. And she is actually one of the brands in the businesses that was, my model brands and model businesses for when I really got started. And I loved her story. So wonderful, wonderful story. I won't, give too much away about it, but be sure to check it out. Again, that brand is called Nasty Gal, and the business owner, her name is Sophia Amoroso. So yeah, you guys definitely check that out. Wonderful resource.
Incredible. Thanks again for such great information, Tiffany, and a great interview. And I'm sure our business owners in our audience have a much clearer understanding of getting started with an online business, and they can go ahead and make it happen in their own business again, and to have that mentality or the right mindset to make it happen. I would like to invite you all guys to check out this website, www.poshpeyton.com, which is spelled as www.poshpeyton.com, to find out more information about Tiffany. And also, visit worldoutsourcingsolutions.com if you want to know more about having a virtual employee working with you, helping your business from where it is to where you want to go. If all that fails, send us an email to my team, which is support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. So thanks again, Tiffany, for being here with us, sharing your expert knowledge in running a business and being an inspiration to a lot of people here, ladies in particular, the millennium mums and dads, as we like to call them. And inspiring people to make a difference and live with passion, live from within, and follow their desires. Thanks, Tiffany.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you for having me again.
It's absolute pleasure to have you here. I hope we will have you again on this show, talking about about other aspects of the business at some point very, very soon. So thanks, guys. There you have it with our expert Tiffany there from the US, helping you achieve your goals through a set of an example. Talk to you very soon and wish you a great day ahead.
Yes, thank you as well.